Please pray with me. Spirit of wisdom, minister to us your people. The only truth be spoken, the only truth be heard. Amen. So in the last 20 years or so, I've noticed that every year I get a little heavier. I don't know what that's all about. Don't like it particularly. But the last couple I've been kind of really wrestling with it, because the question posited itself, how far am I prepared to let this go? So anyway, my son, who's in his final year of kinesiology, shared an eating approach that I've been using for 2 months now, and it's working for me. And I knew dieting wouldn't work. But anyway, I put all my eating within an 8-hour period. Now yesterday, that meant I would have normally had a snack or something to break my fast at about 2:30 in the afternoon. But it was busy, I was running around, and it was 5 o'clock, and I got back home and hadn't eaten yet. And after about 14 hours, I started getting a little grumpy. I don't know if you can understand that, but I heard that a hungry man is a mean man. And so I came in at 5, and I had to get a big birthday dinner all finished up for Damien, our son. And I was just in an awful mood, but thankfully at my old age, I'm wise enough to realize that I was grumpy, and that B, I was grumpy because I had meat, right? But still, even though you know you're grumpy, you still feel grumpy. So anyway, what I did was I went out back and I had a couple of puffs on a joint of marijuana. Yeah. And it did the trick. I was just my very joyful self, and was able to kibbutz with everybody in the family, and we had a great time. I kind of view it as the equivalent of Sue coming home and having some wine with dinner. But what I said may be shocking to you, and if not to you, it will be shocking to somebody. And it's quite sobering to just think about this, that a year ago I could have been arrested and convicted for doing just what I did. And the United Church, even though it's probably the most liberal church in Canada, would have fired me if I was convicted. So these are the strange realities of our life, where there are laws which are punitive and that often don't make a lot of sense. But I understand why some people would be disappointed and angry and hurt with me, because it's awful to have a negative experience. And I've been going through it. 2 young men who I am very close to started smoking weed in grade 6, and as a result they have permanent anxiety now, because when you start smoking that stuff when your brain is developing, your brain stops releasing the chemicals that calm us down. And so now they're permanently anxious, and they have no ambition. It's so sad. 21, 22 years of age, and all they want to do is smoke weed. It's very sad. And even worse than that, Damien's brother, he started smoking in high school in grade 10. And by grade 12, he had full-blown schizophrenia, including an episode where he tried to kill his sister. So when you go through that, I can see how you can be reactive to anybody who has anything to do with it. It's like alcohol. If you've grown up and seen how mean alcohol can make somebody, or you've had a daughter or a son killed by a drunk driver, you can be very reactive to just the mention of alcohol. I remember in Tupperville, Tupperville's been around a long time, that pastoral charge, but I was the first minister who didn't pretend that he didn't drink. Now, to be honest, I'm not a drinker. On a hot day in the summer, I like a cold beer. But I made it a point at social events when the whole community was out to have a beer, just to make a point that responsible use of alcohol should not be an issue. And one of the honorary elders who had been saved from drunkenness flipped out. And it came to the point where I said to the clerk of session, who would be like the chair of the board, I said, look, I don't want to split this community. I can be out of here in 3 months. And the session said to me, look, Paul, you're doing fine. We'll take care of this. Just keep doing what you're doing. But that's often rare, because often when people become reactive with a minister, it never works itself out. So these are the realities of how, because of our experiences and our stories, we can react strongly in a situation where actually no harm is being done. Simple rules of don't do this and do this are fine for children. But as the Apostle Paul points out, as we get older, we need to go deeper than the rules and go to the values that undergird the rules. That's the freedom and responsibility we have as rational, thoughtful, divine beings, children of God. But a lot of us are fundamentalists about one thing or another. Fundamentalism isn't a particular belief, it's a rigidity in whatever it is we do believe. And we're encouraged today, especially with social media and the never-ending news cycle, to take sides, to react, to become tribal instead of thoughtful. It's so easy to feel right, to feel self-righteous, to know, quotes, that we've got the right position of something, rather than discerning what's the right attitude to have. I think out of the 30 or so people I've heard on the news talking about the split between the 2 former cabinet ministers in the Liberal Party, only about 3 had the ability to assess the conflict sympathetically from both sides. You don't hear a lot of that, do you? There are rigid, fundamental voices from both sides of the spectrum. There are fundamentalist people who are sexist, and there are fundamentalist people who are feminists. There are fundamental atheists, and there are fundamental religious. There are fundamental racists, and there's even some fundamental civics right advocates. Inflexibility, judgment, reactivity. We're so prone to it, thinking this or that, instead of discerning what part of this is good and what part of this is bad. What part of that is good and what part of that is bad. Judas in our story today is a fundamentalist, at least in Mark's gospel. In John's gospel, he's a crook. In both cases, he's upset. No, he's furious that Jesus had let Mary break a lawless appointment worth, get this, 1 year's wage in order to give Jesus a massage. In Mark's story, which is the earliest of the 4 stories, and therefore the one with the most history of it, Judas feels completely betrayed by Jesus. It's an awful thing to feel betrayed. Have you ever been duped, betrayed, felt ridiculous for trusting someone, invested your heart, your time, your money, just to discover that the one you loved and looked up to or respected or depended on has sold you out? I tell you, those are terrible experiences. And that's how Judas felt as he watched Mary squander, in our context, $50,000, the average yearly wage, as she massaged the precious ointment into his hair, his head, his neck. Another story says his feet. Beautiful Mary always got Jesus' attention. She was welcome at the table where women weren't supposed to sit. They're probably sleeping together too. You can hear his mind working. Judas could handle it if they were focused on their mission, ending injustice, caring for the poor, helping the wretched, hurting people, have some food, get some health care, receive some support. Jesus had promised that there'd be a new kingdom, that the uber rich would be brought down and the poor exalted. Those were his words. He said the poor would be filled and the mighty would go away empty. Those were his words. And he even kicked the mercenary animal sellers out of the temple. That's what Judas had signed up for. That was the mission. Rome was cruel. It was corrupt. Change was required. That was the mission. And Judas didn't mind that they didn't ever pay for a hotel room, always staying with some acquaintance of Jesus or sleeping outside. He didn't complain. He was committed. He'd rather die than see Rome's cruel rule continue. But here's Jesus. The pressure's on. There's a warrant out for his arrest. And instead of selling Mary's ointment to advance the cause, he wastes it. Oh, what could have been done with $50,000? So many more people could have been helped. So many more people would have joined the movement. Judas isn't influenced in the least by Jesus pointing out that he's going to die. And that Mary has been one of the movement's most generous supporters, has the right to show her love and gratitude and support by consoling and comforting him with this extravagant expression of love. That's the thing about Jesus. He had such balance. He was open to the joys and sensual delights of life, just as he embraced the need for sacrifice and austerity too. He covered all the bases. Such great balance. I can't imagine many of us would have been comfortable with someone we love doing something so extravagant for us. Boy, is there any of us who could have just said, okay, Mary? Wouldn't we be saying, oh, Mary, don't do that. Don't do that for me. No, that's too much. Right? That's the way we're trained. Jesus had such openness to giving and to receiving. But Judas isn't accepting it. From his perspective, Jesus has given up. He's given it to Mary. He cares more about Mary and himself than the mission Judas has sacrificed for. Jesus is weak, and from Judas's perspective, he turns out to be a fraud. So Judas figures he may as well turn him in and collect the reward. At least he can use that to do some good, and he'll find somebody else who's prepared to fight Rome. Beware before we leap to such judgment. Beware when we feel morally superior to someone who is nothing but kind, respectful, and fair. Spirit moves us in ways that can seem excessive, extravagant, imprudent even. If acting that way is a habit, we've got a problem. But if we are never open to the Spirit nudging us to break open and share generously what we have to give, then we'll miss some of the greatest joys and satisfaction life will ever give us. Jesus had a great respect for people, a great respect for women. He didn't presume to exercise his male power to tell her not to do what she wanted to do. And in this story we see the understanding of how we are all part of the Jesus movement and the God action, because Messiah, which we apply to Jesus, is the anointed one and the anointing one. And here Mary is taking that role, anointing Jesus. The physical does matter as long as we are spirits in the body. Some comfort is important. Sensual pleasures and delights are important. Mary was ministering to Jesus. How beautiful is that? Sometimes we need to let go and give, and sometimes we need to let go and receive. This afternoon I'm doing a funeral for a member at Trinity, Doug, and one of my favorite stories about Doug. A lot of struggles, not much money, raising his kids. He let his car go for a month and walked to work because he chose to spend the money taking his kids to the fair. what his kids remember. The month Dad walked to work so we could go to the fair and not have to go to school and hear every other kid talking about going to the fair, and we didn't get to go. That probably means a lot to me because my dad never sacrificed anything for his family. He sacrificed us for his ambition. It's a beautiful thing when people have that ability to see when a generous gesture is called for. I remember an opportunity I had. My dad's printer got married to a woman from Georgia, and Dad paid all his staff minimum wage, and they didn't have the money to go to Georgia to meet with her family. And her family was too poor to come to the wedding. And so even though I was in university, I paid the equivalent of 1/4 of what it cost for a complete semester of tuition and room and board at university to pay for him and his wife to go to Georgia to meet with their family. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but I can tell you I never regretted that gesture. And I know it meant the world to that fellow and his wife. Even to this day, when I meet him in Halifax, he'll bring it up. I wish he would, but I know it meant so much. I mean, I received as much joy myself. That's the great thing about generosity. As long as I'm healthy and effective, I want to work till I'm 70 or beyond so I can enjoy providing fun experiences for my family. Get them all together in a resort once a year. I just think there's where the meaning and joy of life is. I love the fact that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are giving their fortune away. Isn't that fantastic? They know where the joy is. People do generous things like fostering children, or stepping up and being a stepdad or a mom in a new blended family. 2 little country churches here in the London area raised over $10,000 to bring the family of Brooks, the member of Trinity, from Liberia to London. He hadn't seen his family in 6 years. He had to flee Liberia because there were people wanting to kill him for his faith. And he had no money to bring his family here. The little country churches raised over $10,000. What extreme, extravagant generosity. But they can be proud, and they are proud. But now Brooks is with his wife and 3 children. A beautiful thing. Think about the time you felt free to provide an extravagant emotional support for someone, caring for someone beyond reason, or doing something generous of spirit or money or both, just because it seemed the right thing and spirit was nudging you. When we are tempted to judge ourselves or others, when we question what others do, the only question love allows us to ask is it kind? Is it respectful? Is it fair? We're part of a generous God who creates and is creating galaxies and life and diversity and the capacity to love for no reason other than it is the nature of God to share and take delight from generosity and beauty. Jesus replied, "Leave her alone. Why are you bothering her? I assure you that wherever the good news of God's love and generosity is preached all over the world, what she has done will be told in memory of her." Respect, fairness, and great kindness always results in the best memories.